Mukesh Bhutani, who's often with us on budgets, trying essentially to talk himself out of a job because he is managing partner of BMR Legal, and one of the key things that you do is help people navigate the thicket of regulations and rules. And P.N. Vijay was just now telling us the number of different tax slabs there are, trying to figure out is this capital gains and what sort of a capital gains it is. You've been bravely coming budget after budget and saying we need to simplify this so that I don't have too much to do. Are you hoping that that trend will continue? And is that a trend that's happening, by the way?
Well, I think over the years the tax structure has got complicated because of a variety of reasons. One reason clearly is that because of the interplay of exemptions, government doesn't want to lose out on its fair share of taxes by giving away exemptions. So it is looking at this figure called effective tax rate and not necessarily the headline tax rate. So over the years, there is this tug of war between how much exemptions should be given away to new businesses versus what should be the highest marginal tax rate. Personally, in the interest of simplification, there is very little justification to discriminate between a manufacturing and a services organization. I can understand that if you want to promote new manufacturing, you give a concessional rate of 15%, which was announced in 2019. Similarly, even on the individual side, I think we have complicated the tax structure by introducing 3 levels of supercharges. And then even for the middle class, depending on whether the person wants to take exemptions for saving instruments or not. So there is clearly a justification. I think the bigger justification is on the capital gains rate structure, which is in my view most complex, either because of the threshold period or what class of assets do you have, or for that matter, what class of investors do you have. So there is a compelling need in the last several budgets to simplify the tax structure because it is very complicated from a business standpoint.
Okay. Do you think it's going to happen today? Long overdue, the simplification and setting into some sort of an order personal income tax, like has happened to a large extent with other taxation.
I'm more optimistic on the capital gains side than on the business side. But I think we should make a start somewhere, even on the business side as well.
By business, you mean what? Corporate tax or personal tax?
The corporate tax. The corporate tax structure.
Corporate tax, I thought, had been sorted out to some extent, hasn't it?
They have
come down, the rates are down.
Well, we have 3 headline rates, 15, 22 and 30. And I think there is certainly a case to merge it into 2 rather than having 3 categories.
Okay. Look, I've got the 2 of you gentlemen out here. Let's try and redraft personal income tax if we can. We can have fun, right? Whatever's in the budget is already there. We'll know what she intends in about, well, her speech is half an hour from now, but we will know what she intends to do on personal income tax, I think about 1 hour, 1.5 hours into the speech. If you had to redesign personal income tax, let's just start with that. Personal income tax, what would you do?
Well, this present rate was fixed in 2016, I think. And after that, we have had CPI inflation of average of 6%. So just for inflation correction, we should be moving somewhere around 4. And I think if we went to the exemption limit of even 4, I think that'll be good. Many people are asking for 5, but I think that's a tall order. So 4, and then, I would, the highest rate kicks from 10 lakhs. What is 10 lakhs? 80,000 rupees per month. That's
then you have other slabs also. You have a super rich tax which kicks in at 5 crores.
At 5 crores. I think that super we should just do away with. I think it's 30 is quite with the surcharge and all that. That's quite a nice tax you get out of the guy's hands. So I think kick that out. Make this 10, probably 20 at least. A lakh or lakh and a half. How can you save with all the high cost of real estate, etc.? So if you want to do it with a big bang, the deng bang as they call it, you make it 5 and 20 at the highest.
Okay, moving slabs is one part of it, but let's just come to simplification. I don't know if you, Mukesh, you're probably the only person who can actually figure it out. There's an old system, then there's a new system. So one has exemptions, one doesn't have exemptions.
Correct.
Even if you don't have exemptions, then there are some exemptions that you can still have.
Correct.
Then there are multiple slabs.
Correct.
Then there's a 4% surcharge. Then there is a various rich surcharges if you have that.
Correct.
The education says, oh yeah, that's part of that surcharge.
Yeah. So surcharge applies to...
What is this?
surcharge applies to all categories of income who get pushed in the maximum marginal rate, 10 lakhs as Vijay described. The surcharge, then there are 3 surcharge rates. Super surcharge rate applies to income above 5 crores. I think it is very complex, but more complex is also on the business side. Why should there be a discrimination between a partnership or a limited liability partnership, which was supposed to be a quasi-corporate status, and a corporation? So a partnership and a limited liability partnership is taxed at 30%, but a company is taxed at 22%. So you have now different class of taxpayers doing the same business, but having a differing tax rates.
Is there a simple case? Okay, let me just put this out as a, without changing the amount of revenue you're getting from income tax. Isn't there a case to say, okay, here are 4 or 5 slabs. Forget about exemptions, excepting for maybe housing and, you know, investments, stuff, something or the other. Merge all the surcharges into this. So now you have whatever slabs you want. You can make it 10, 15, 25, 30, 35 for the rich. And just keep it to that. No surcharges, no calculation. Anybody can do it with a simple calculator.
I think the whole levy of surcharge is more a political issue, because the surcharge does not form part of the pool that is divided with the states. The entire surcharge and cess actually goes to what is called the Consolidated Fund of India. As far as cess is concerned, under the Constitution, you can levy cess provided it's for a specific purpose.
Okay.
And the courts have the right to ask the government, was it utilized for that purpose or not? So you need to be mindful now, go beyond the budget. So as far as individuals are concerned, people like you and me, we don't look at 30% rate, we look at whatever is the effective rate with the surcharge. But as far as the government is concerned, they need to look at it the other way around.
I'm about to go across. Jim Rogers is joining us, as is Madan Sabnavis. Jim Rogers, of course, is an American investor, financial commentator. A lot of people have been really listening to what he says about a way to put their money in. And I guess the question to ask him is this budget likely to, is it something he's going to be looking at to advise people to put their money into India? Madan Sabnavis is economist at the Bank of Baroda.